I'm responding to a question how to move arms correctly in the Aurora variation from the Sleeping Beauty. It is not like this, neither it is like this. It's a very delicate movement, and hands are moving up and down, ever so slightly in and out, gradually raising them up. You should look at the right hand first and then at the left. I was told by my teachers that the origin of this movement is in the Russian national dance with a handkerchief.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to New American Youth Ballet Presents. And today we are so honored to present Elena Kunikova, and she is a graduate from the Vaganova Academy, a master teacher. She stages all the classical ballet works, and I will share with you her enormous resume and about her own teaching program. So thank you so much for being here today. We're very excited to continue this program for ballet education, and especially with a guest like you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much, Camila. Wonderful to see you. And thank you for your interest in my work. And welcome to my ballet atelier, or as I call it, my dancing kitchen, where I share not only cooking recipes, but my ballet recipes as well.
I love it. And you know, when I visit your Instagram page, I often share it with my students, my Zoom students, and my students in person, because you have such a way of expressing these things in ballet. You were doing the flick of the fingers with the ice outside, and it was so lively and it had such life to it.
This is a cute little port de bras used in many classical variations, and that's how you can practice it.
And that's
Thank you.
what this field needs.
I think it always helps. I loved it myself when I was a young student and when I was dancing professional already. But I think it's always works and resonates with students when you bring up some imagery.
Yes. Yes, I saw you did about how to do the Spanish style arms.
I was asked to show how to do this gesture I call ole. We see a lot in Spanish dances and variations. It reminds number 8. You start with the elbow and conclude with the hand. You can do it on a lower level or even with the hand.
I have to credit this, my training, my education, and the curriculum we had at the Vaganova school, because it was a very comprehensive dance training, because we had, besides ballet, we had, of course, partnering and character dance. There wouldn't be, Russian port de bras wouldn't be as good and famous without this extensive training in character dance and historical ballroom dance, which also teaches you etiquette, which teaches you how to treat your partner, how to offer your arm, how to place your arm, how to relate to your partner in a graceful, very polite way.
Yes.
So that all contributed to the development of artistry and all those port de bras my schooling is known for.
What stands out to me is your joy and your spark, because there are teachers who know, but sometimes they know with such a strict approach that it crushes the love of this art with the student. And I see you teach a variety of students from the highest level to sometimes maybe a mixed class at steps where you give a class that's safe for everyone, even if somebody is a professional dancer, but you include them and you educate them. And that's something that I think is a real contribution to this art.
And we'll stay longer now.
and I'm trying to really transmit my life with this love for this art form. Yes. Still love it, still think it's wonderful. I still think it's probably one of the best exercises because it encompasses the whole body. You do it to the music. You have to concentrate, and it really exercises every part of your body.
What brought you to ballet? Very beginning of your journey, what attracted you to ballet?
I like to tell this story that my career, my love to ballet, started on the windowsill of our apartment because we live right across from the Vaganova school. And from my windows as a very young person, I was watching rehearsals of the Mariinsky Theater, which used to have classes and rehearsals at that time at the school. Later on, it was a whole new wing built to the theater where the company is holding its classes and rehearsals now. But in my time, the company rehearsed at the school. And that was an university. You know, just watching those fantastic dancers.
You could see from your windowsill the dancers rehearsing.
I saw rehearsals. I saw a magic world.
Oh my gosh!
I saw these chandeliers. Really a very magical world, and of course, I wanted to be a part of it. And at the age of 9. My parents took me to the school, and I passed a few rounds of the tremendous audition because the profession of a ballet dancer was considered very glamorous, very coveted. And besides, ballet dancers were traveling abroad, which was not possible for the rest of the population in Soviet Russia. You know, so that's how it started. And of course, hard physical work, which started the day one, was a huge surprise. I didn't really realize how much it takes, but studying was hard. And we were constantly reminded that everybody were accepted to the school conditionally, and anybody can be dismissed at any point. So we worked really very hard, but at the same time, it was wonderful. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. The ballet was taught as an art form, so we were encouraged to project, to perform basically from day one, right? No just simply mechanical movement was accepted. It had to be danced.
Yes.
You know, from day one.
And your teacher was a direct student of Vaganova herself.
I had quite a few teachers, and all my teachers at the school and some of my coaches at the company were Vaganova students. I posted a few photographs on the Instagram of my teachers. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of fun because we were performing at the Mariinsky and Mikhailovsky theater productions. And I also like to say that I grew up in the Sleeping Beauty. I grew up in the Don Quixote. I learned ballet like one learns how to behave, how to become a person in the family. I'm receiving a lot of questions how to do port de bras in the beginning of diva variation in Paquita. A beautiful dancer, Grace Ann Pierce, will help me with that. Please, Gracie, préparation. And from here, releve with a light pitch left. Follow arms down, change to the left. Then follow your arms from left to right all the way up. Then talk to your right hand, talk to your left hand, talk to your right hand, deep chin down and pose. Thank you. Make a note that it is very important to follow your hands with your head. Then your movement will become graceful and harmonious.
Yes.
You know, you learn the etiquette, you learn do's and don'ts. I acquired a huge, I would say, I call it my treasure trove of nuances and details, because I watched so many fantastic dancers. And that kind of collection came very handy once I started to teach in stage ballets.
I think what is such a treasure in what you offer with this education behind you, many dancers now don't understand when you do a variation for a competition, it's not a 2-minute variation. It's part of a whole picture and a whole character development.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why great choreographers are great, because they bring up in a short variation a character or some really interesting insights into
Yes.
the character, into the person. And that's why Marius Petipa, the creator of so many wonderful classical ballets, or George Balanchine,
Yes.
are so wonderful, because you always see a person, you always see a character, you always see a thought, a message through the steps. When this, you know, this unfortunately pandemic started and dancers were not able to go to the studios and practice in the studios, I started to teach online. And that's why I created my website, that's why I created the Instagram, and that's what brought me great joy to be connected to my students, to be connected to dancers, and to be able to share with them my knowledge and kind of to bring them this joy of dance, continuing bringing them the joy of dance. And I still do that, and I still enjoy working online as much as I love working in the studio, of course, because it connects you with people in so many different places.
Yes.
You know, and during the lockdowns, I was rehearsing with my staging of Paquita with Ballet West, not only in the studio, but also conducting stage rehearsals. And
Yes.
it went wonderfully. I rehearsed, I coached people for concerts, I coached pas de deux, I coached young dancers for competitions. You know, I continue giving classes. My students asked me to continue giving them point classes, which I still do up to these days.
Yes.
In my dancing kitchen.
It's a place with a lot of creativity pouring out of it.
That's what I say, you know, I keep sharing my recipes.
Oh, it's perfect. You know what you remind me of? I often would struggle to think how American students can truly embrace and understand the Vaganova training, because the culture here is very different, isn't it? It's people are used to something very instant. And it reminds me of, you've heard of Julia Child with the French recipes, how she made it for the American cook, where it's still correct, but it's approachable. And when I see your Instagrams, these little nuggets that you post, they're so valuable, but they're short enough where people can watch and truly take away.
I really appreciate it. Really appreciate that.
I very much enjoy your class at Steps. I took your class, and I appreciate how you take the classical ballet. Like, I think the day I took your class, you did like a little phrase from Ramunda, maybe something from Don Q, and you incorporated it into the combination. And it felt so good, because it's, you know, you're rehearsing, but it's not just a combination. It has a style and it has a purpose.
Yeah, that's what I kind of feel, which kind of helps young dancers to learn, to have a purpose.
Yes.
When I teach, I'm trying to show them how even the simple basic steps will evolve and how they work in Sleeping Beauty and Don Quixote. You know,
Yes.
what will become of those simple tendus, right?
Yes.
What will become of those simple port de bras? And we see them all in the choreography, whether classical or neoclassical or even contemporary, still the same tendus.
Is the imagery and like the everyday examples that you give on Instagram where you're talking about a particular concept and how it relates to ballet, is that kind of your own, was that style teaching brought to you by some of your teachers, or is that kind of your own way of relating to the students, or maybe a combination of both?
I would say it's a combination of both. I have wonderful teachers, and I think I was very lucky to have teachers who were kind of very strict traditionalists, and the others who looked out of the box. So I feel that I got the best of both.
Yes.
Which kind of formed me as a performer and formed me as a teacher, you know, just to know the material and to sometimes experiment how to present it.
I know you've shared with me you enjoy comedy ballet, which is another kind of standout that I find with you is your just charming personality.
Thank you.
It's exceptional. It's exceptional. And I see that you've done ballets for children, Aesop's Fables, and you feel there's a shortage of children's ballets, which
Absolutely.
I completely agree with you.
Absolutely. You know how impressive body language is. They say that we communicate 80% via body language and just 20% via speech. I don't know how accurate it is, but I like it.
Yes, yes.
You know, and that's what I feel, that we don't have enough dance shows for children. We don't have enough comedies on our dance scenes, you know, and that's the direction I like to take in my kind of choreography.
Yes.
And that's why I'm trying to stage ballets for children, like Aesop Fables. There's every character I used in my ballet has a different way of moving.
First student is Alice, and she had a quick question.
Let me put my glasses on.
Здравствуйте, Miss Kunikova. I was wondering what the most important thing you think you learned attending the Vaganova school.
Thank you, Alice. Well, it's hard to pick one. You know, so many lessons. The love of dance, because everybody who is involved in teaching ballet or dancing ballet in Russia, they're absolutely in love with the art form. And as I said, I had different kind of teachers, and maybe the fact of the curiosity, you know, about the chosen art form, you know, the desire to know more and to learn more.
A most valuable lesson.
I think so.
Let's cut to Lisa.
Здравствуйте, Miss Kunikova. Could you please explain how to properly do a flick-flack?
Flick-flack. Flick-flack. It's a cute little step, which actually is not widely used now. But while I was a student at the school, we had to do it a lot. Do it en face, just like this, 1 and 2. It can go on the floor, starting back and front, or it can go on the ground, starting from front and back. Right? Or flick-flack can go en tournant, going on the floor or on the ground, another way. What is important to make, and the most difficult thing to make in flick-flack, is the footwork, because it has to be very articulated. See, my foot moves and picks it up, and then it moves into coup de pied back and picks it up beautifully. And that's what is very challenging to make in flick-flack. Preparing the upper body, the stance, and then just walking, pointing feet. Two, you see this again, tendu, 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 tendu. That right. Camila, point your foot as you step and point and walk proud, sweetheart. Pick up your chin, yes, and open your chest. Right. Even more. Raise your chin, open your, yes, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way. That's how we usually walk when we go from the one part of the variation to the next one, right?
So is that how you would advise teachers to teach running? Running is one of the hardest things.
It is.
Point students, it sometimes can look horrible.
It is. You know, running is also not that easy, and it also depends on the music, on the tempo, on the character.
Yes.
Also, running in classical ballets is different from running in contemporary ballets.
Absolutely.
Yes. By the first position, very turned out by first position, and pointing feet. Pointing feet and carry your body. That's right. That's pretty nice, Camila. Yes, have to carry yourself as you run.
So would you take it, you would take it with the walk, tendu, slowly, and increase the tempo little by little? Yeah.
Yeah, but also, you know, young dancers learn a lot by watching.
Yes.
So when you show them a good example, a beautiful dancer, you know,
Yes.
who is doing it nicely, they will absorb it.
We've been trying something new, and maybe you've seen in some of our episodes, we have rapid fire questions. Just a few random questions for you from Camila, and then whatever else you'd like to share.
Okay. Allegro or adagio?
Both.
Okay.
Good answer.
Bar or center?
Depends on the day.
Favorite ballet role?
All of them.
Least favorite ballet role?
None.
What do you think is the hardest thing to teach students?
I think it's much more difficult to teach port de bras rather than to teach a pirouette.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Caramel?
Oh, yeah. Oh. You were stuck on a desert island. What 3 things would you take with you?
Well, let's skip that. I need many things with me. You know, I don't want to be on a desert island. First of all, I would keep not things, I would keep people.
Yes. And I have a question. Is I understand you have stayed quite injury-free throughout your career. What advice do you have for dancers for that? That's exceptional that you've maintained so healthy throughout your dance career.
Pretty much healthy. Of course, I cannot say that I was 100% injury-free. Had little things here and there, but mostly I was quite sturdy. I always was in shape. I was having a good, healthy diet, you know. And I also think it's just my desire to dance, to work, my kind of emotional predisposition, I think probably helped as well. And of course, not to mention my good training.
Now, Elena, I know you teach online classes for dancers, professional level, all different levels. And it's very important for us to keep in shape with grand allegro and big jumps. How do you handle that if you're working in a small space?
I specifically design my combinations to fit this small space. I call it ballet in a box. By the way, studying in a small space requires a lot of walking, practice to work a lot. So let's brush it up one more time. Start in the back left corner. We do plie, pirouette, arabesque. Tombe. Prepare. As if you said, now I want to go this way. 2. Release out, turn the flesh. Cease on to the front right corner. Chasse, don't forget to leave your eyes. Right. Touche the tête. Always finish with your arms up. It's more impressive and more secure. Balance it. And saw the box. Step, step. And then you can walk and prepare to the outside.
Well, Ms. Elena, thank you so much for your time today. This was a real pleasure. And I'm looking forward to putting this episode together. And for serious dance students, or even if you're just beginning your journey in ballet, please contact the very best master teacher, and I'll put your email address and how to reach you. So thank you again for today.
Thank you so much for having me. Greatly enjoyed it.
Same
All
here.
best. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Camila.
Thank you.